that somebody's molesting your granddaughters?
We believe that it's Barbara and her husband now, Jared.
Maybe you did something. How do I know you're not abusing them grandkids?
The people in jail are going to do to you what you did to my granddaughter.
We're not going to have fighting on this stage.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear everybody's side of the story.
I bought a soap dispenser, and my little granddaughter, she says, that's just like Jared spits out soap. I says, where? I said, show me. She says, in the front, and she points to the front of a doll.
How would a little girl make a story up like that?
I don't know.
It's a lie. What 3-year-old says it?
And you and your husband aren't molesting children?
No.
You're nothing but a liar.
I would never hurt my kids.
We're going to get to the lie detector results.
Come here, you bastard! Get out of here!
My sister Barbara is a deadbeat mother. We had to take in her 4 children. Her husband is being accused of touching the children. And just the other night, one of the 3-year-olds was saying that Mommy used to do it. They described like them having sex in front of them by saying that Mommy and Jared get naked and kiss. At first, I didn't really believe all this, but then when I heard it myself from the children, it really makes me mad and sad because nobody should do that in front of their children. It's just disgusting. My sister chooses men over her children. Like, she'll take men into her house and spend all her money on them. When I was 7 years old, I first realized this because my mom had taken in my first niece. My sister really didn't care. She's like, oh, this is awesome. My mom takes care of my kid and I get to sit around and do nothing. The allegations that my sister is molesting them is really sick because I've never really thought about my sister doing something like that. But then hearing it come from my niece's mouth, I believe it now. Like, if she's done this, I look at her as not even being my sister anymore. The fact that they're trying to accuse us of all of this and abusing the children, they have no right to be saying that because we've done nothing but good for these kids and take care of them and give them a stable home. If my sister is here right now, I tell her that I don't consider her my sister anymore, and I'm just disgusted by her.
Frederick, that's your 15-year-old daughter on the tape?
Yes.
And she's making some serious allegations.
Yeah.
Your daughter, who's married to a young man, they have, she has 4 children?
Yes, 4.
And basically saying that she believes that somebody's molesting your granddaughters.
Right. We believe that it's Barbara and her boyfriend.
Barbara being your daughter?
Barbara, my daughter, and her husband now, Jared. They just recently got married. But it's been 3 years. We've had custody of the 4 girls. We took custody because Barbara, at that time, it didn't have anything to do with sexual. It was just that she could not take care of the children. She kept putting men over her children. We would give her money, and she'd spend it. We'd pay her rent, buy her diapers, all kinds of stuff. She said she didn't have any money. So she was getting evicted. She left her and her kids homeless like 4 times. The last time she was in a shelter, and we tried to, keep her in there, tried to help her get a house. And what happened was that they gave her one of these Salvation Army houses, and you're not supposed to have men up there. The kids came to us telling us that when they came up to inspections, Mommy would have the men hide under their beds.
If what you're saying is true, how did your daughter, get so screwed up in the head that she would act this way?
It started when she had her first one. The house was just always dirty and everything. She'd have plates and stuff just laying and thrown all over the place.
And how old are the children?
One, the oldest is 7. The other one, it will be 6 in November. And the 2 little girl twins are 3.
Okay, so definitely the 2 older ones can verbalize and really say what's going on. This isn't the case of 3 years old and 1 year old. This is 7, 6, and 2 3-year-olds. Even 2 3-year-olds can, pretty much verbalize what's going on in the house. And you have custody of the children.
Yes, we do.
But when they get to take the children, you believe some bad things are happening to them.
At first, they were supervised visits because we had questions about whether she was abusing them or not, because there was some allegations when she was in a shelter before from the people actually at the shelter. And then my wife decided that after a while she would let them go unsupervised. What was after they started going unsupervised is like they came home and I bought a soap dispenser, okay? And the soap dispenser spits out soap on your hands and stuff. And my little granddaughter, she's playing with it, And I said, don't be playing with the soap, honey. I says, and then she come in the room later. I said, you like playing with that soap thing, don't you? She says, yeah. She says, that's just like Jared spits out soap. And I says, what? I said, what do you mean Jared spits out soap? And she's like, Yeah, I says, where? I says, show me. I took the doll, I put the doll in bed. She says, in the front, and she points to the front of the doll.
What action did you take after she tells you this?
At that point, it was really nothing, unfortunately. I guess I should have.
Have you noticed how, if this has affected your granddaughters in a way, their behavior?
Yeah, the way that they speak, the way that they act.
And how do they act differently?
Well, they're more, I don't know, almost like one of my granddaughters, one of the youngest ones, she has like a, kind of like almost like a rage about her. She gets really, really upset. She slams things, she slams doors. She's, I'm not your friend anymore. Don't touch me, stay away from me, and she slams the doors. I mean, you're talking about a 3-year-old.
Now, your daughter and her husband are here. They took lie detector tests. Obviously, if they pass, that would be a good thing. If they fail this test,
what do I want to do?
Well, I know,
no.
I know what
well,
you'd want to do, but
there'll be legal repercussions. I mean,
yeah.
I won't do anything. I mean, I'm not,
right.
you know, I got
you can't
family
be
and
stupid.
kids
You
to
got
take care of.
people
I'm
to
not
take
stupid.
care of.
Right, exactly.
But if your daughter and husband would fail this test, you would take some kind of action.
Oh, most definitely.
Legal action.
Yeah, and I definitely disown my daughter. I mean,
you would disown your daughter.
Yeah, I don't even.
The people in jail are going to do to you what you did to my granddaughter.
You used to abuse your daughter.
I'll admit, you can boo me. I hit my kids.
When the good guy turns out to be a bad guy, where do you go from there? Now your daughter is here. She paints a very different picture of what's going on. We have a clip. Let's take a look.
3 years ago, my parents took custody of my children under false accusations. The house that my children live in is dirty, it's nasty, it's a disgusting mess. There's trash, there's clothes all over the floors, wall to wall trash, roaches mixed all up in it, and my kids play in this on a daily basis. My kids wear the same clothes for days at a time. Their diapers have rips, very dirty, looking as if they have been wearing them for days at a time. One of my daughters has even gone to school with her coat smelling like urine numerous times when we had to pick her up from school. One time, she even had dog coat. One of my youngest has told me that her papa scrubs her with a toilet brush when she pees her bed. I believe my daughter for the simple fact that Fred used to do the same thing to me, and I believe that Fred is verbally and physically abusing my kids. All my daughters sleep on the floor on a mattress with no sheets, pillows, just a blanket.